So we got the rest of the harness off. And now the top of the motor is all exposed. Got the rest of these exhaust bolts off. We're taking the axle off of this side. And then we can take the bracket off the bottom of the exhaust, the catalytic converter, like we did on this side. And converter bolts and the rest of the mount from the transmission to the motor. And we're getting there. Alright, so the exhaust manifold's off on this side. The axle bracket is off. The motor mount lower one is off. So now I'm holding the flywheel through the starter hole, and he's underneath cracking the converter bolts.
I got
Get the converter bolts off, and we have 2 more bolts up here for the transmission to motor, to engine, I mean. And then we'll take this one off this side, the other one off the other side, and it should, we might have to take these 3 out so it slide over that way. So it's going to slide forward a little bit and up when the time comes. Alright, next thing, there's 1 more bolt that holds the engine to the transmission in there. 18 millimeter. Alright, that's got to come off. And got the hoist ready. We're going to take off this side motor mount and that motor mount on that side, and lift it up and try to separate the 2 now. Alright, one other thing. This hose that goes down to the heater on the transmission, those got to come off. So that one and this one right here, because those are going to be part of the engine when it comes apart. Right?
Alright, there's 1 motor mount.
It's got to go back on the same way. Oh, that's the problem.
Got the hoist on it.
This has to come off to get this off.
What?
These 4 bolts have to come, this has to come off to get this off.
Yeah, because whoever designed this, dumb idea.
Alright, come on, take those off.
Alright, let me get those 4 off. Okay. So converter came out with it, which it wasn't supposed to, or whatever.
But
We are gonna.
now we found, look how dirty, look at that. Tranny fluid's supposed to be red, it's
Here,
black.
you can see it over here. This. So we're gonna flush all that out definitely once we get everything. Change the filter in it, and all right. So there it is. Then we gotta take the flywheel, because I don't think the other one has a flywheel.
The other one's got a flywheel.
Oh, it does? Okay.
Yeah, I think it did.
Well,
And we just got to take off these hoses that we need. All this got to get switched over to the other one. All right.
Let me get the forklift, take
We're
that one out of the
that
truck.
fluid out of there.
Hang on. Well,
This
just
fluid
wait.
is freaking dirty and nasty.
Can you just wait? And then I was gonna just leave it. Just put it right in the bucket. And I'll just clean it off after. Yeah, just let it sit in the bucket.
Well,
Or wait. Or just wait.
needs to-
I know, just put it down. Come on. Hang on.
All right. So this is the new motor, new used, whatever you want to call it. Okay. We stripped this all down. It doesn't come with anything, but we had to strip all the junk off it. Take the pipes off it. We're going to use all the stuff that was on the other motor. We're going to use all the sensors that were on the other motor, because we know they're all good, because I'm not going back in and changing sensors after this thing's back in place. It's got a flywheel on it. That's good. These are all good. So we're putting the fuel injectors, everything that was on the other motor, back on this motor. This motor's nice and clean.
We took the valve cover.
We just took the valve cover up. This valve cover was cracked. When they picked it up, they must have cracked it. So we're gonna put the old one on there. So we got new gaskets. We had to get new gaskets for everything because that motor, the old motor, look at this. I don't know if you could see that.
That's insane. Look at this.
Look at that. Look at that. It's just like, it's
That's
caked. They never, I'm telling you, they never changed the oil on this thing. Look at the inside of the cover. So this one was leaking. There's,
No, this
See how this
motor didn't leak at all.
Yeah, look.
No, I'm saying the valve.
It wasn't leaking outside. It's clean on the outside, but everything internally was shot. So see how inside that spark plug's nice and clean. That one's nice and clean and dry, and then that one has oil in it. So the only way you could change those, we're gonna put the old cover back on this side because you can't change this. You'd have to change this old cover to fix that. And then on this side, we're gonna use the old cover.
It was on that one.
So on that one, we're gonna put this one on.
It looked like the valve cover was
So
leaking. This was
we're gonna
all
make
wet.
sure there's no leaks. Look at that, all caked up with oil. Holy cow! Look at that. So we're changing all the gaskets. So this motor is done. We need to take these two pipes off and put them on that motor. And I think that's it. That we need off the old motor. And we need this bracket and these two sensors. This sensor's got to come off. No. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
That sensor's got to go on there. That's a knock sensor.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's it. So that mount, and I believe that's it. This motor's, like I said, this one's nice and clean. We're gonna put new spark plugs in it because you cannot get spark plugs in this motor once it's in the car. You got to take the intake manifold off. These things suck to work on to start with. So, and I think
might as well get it all.
once we pick this up,
yeah,
we're gonna replace the. We're gonna put the oil pan.
Yeah,
we're gonna put the old oil pan. Clean that one off. Clean this one off. Make sure there's nothing in there. All right. We'll take them both off and then put the good oil pan on the new motor. All right.
Yep.
Okay. Well, for today we're done. So tomorrow we'll continue. All right. So this is where we're at now. So we got new gaskets on here. All new O-rings. I'm gonna show you when I do the other side, but. So this side's all done. I'm going to pull the spark plugs out of it and put new spark plugs in it because we ain't going back in there. Take our word for it. You don't want to do this in the car once it's in there. Okay, so we got new gaskets. Right now I'm just going to pull the spark plugs out of it and make sure we're going to have that done before we try putting anything back together, because then you got to remember the one cover, which is this one, is covered by the intake manifold. So to do spark plugs or valve cover gaskets or anything, you got to take the intake off, which is almost impossible in the car. All right, so we'll do that next. He's cleaning the other side valve cover. I'm gonna do, yeah, we had to use the old one. So he's trying to get it all cleaned up, make sure it's all good to go. All right?
What are you looking for?
All right, so these are the plugs that came out of. Get a close shot of that. Nice, dry. Okay.
A little dirty, but you know.
Yeah, but dry.
100,000 miles. So.
And these. This is the old motor. I'm curious to see what these look like. Yeah. Look how much is built up on there. That's all oil valved.
Yeah, don't move it. Yep.
See it? Look at the difference.
Stop moving it so I can focus.
Look at the difference. Look how much oil foul these are.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay. So put that back in there. And away it goes.
Got new ones in the other ones, so all good.
Put all new ones in it. I ain't playing around with that thing.
Okay.
All right. So it gets these gaskets that cover this spot and these gaskets. And then what you need to do is you take a little bit of silicone like this,
Do the corners.
and you got to put it in these two little corners, just like that. Okay?
All right, I'll give it a shot. I'll let you know if it comes back on.
Okay.
All right.
That actually, now that you say that, John, because I got gas before I got on.
All right. So we're going to drain that one because we need the oil pan off of that one. And on this one, I just finished, I cleaned the injectors. So now the injectors are all clean. They're like brand new again. All right, we got a little machine that we run our stuff through it, an injector cleaner, hook the injectors up to it and clean them out. So we're gonna record all that stuff. All right, so we're back to doing this. I'm gonna put the injector rail back on and try putting the intake manifold back on it.
Give me another wrench so I can.
All right, he's doing that. All right, quick video, just for starters. That's your air filter, so you can imagine what the rest of this thing look like. Let me show you what's going on here. Okay. That's the inside underneath your van.
What a hole.
This is what's involved. And there's a lot more going on. So we'll talk later. Hopefully you feel better. All right, so now everything's back on this motor. Swap the oil pan off. Lined everything back up. Put all the new tubes on. Valve covers, the spark plugs, coil packs. We're gonna set it back in place. Put the axle back in place and the exhaust, but like that's all gotta go in one shot. So we're gonna go with that. All right.
All right. So
Where's the shield over here?
I'm on the carts. Just finished putting the belt on. Yeah. Good luck doing any of this stuff in the car. God bless you if you can get any of this done.
Goes on this side.
Yeah. The only thing you should have to do on this car is an oil change.
That's right. And that's what they didn't do, and that's why we're doing this.
Yeah, well, that's besides the point. But we just got all the motor mounts. We're starting to kind of put the harness back onto it and everything. So, making sure everything goes on. We don't want to forget nothing and have to put something on in the car. Because, no, that does not go on that way.
Which one is it? Yellow? All right.
Yeah, I know. Okay.
Yeah.
Everything's all back
All
on.
the harness is back on. This is all the stuff that goes hooked up into the body again to the car.
We're going to check everything over one last time, just in case. We're going to get it up, just bolted in place. Hopefully right now before dinner.
Today. We're done for today again.
And that'll be it.
All right.
Okay, so all that. Only thing that's got to go on the one that goes up is for the steering
make sure
shaft.
You put the steering shaft back on. Fuel line, evap line. This is for the MAP sensor. The mass airflow sensor. 2 heater hoses, cable, ground. All this goes into the car.
That's all your computer wires.
Yeah, that's the battery and computer. You got the 2 transmission lines go on. 2 air conditioner lines go on. Power steering line goes on.
And the
lower hose goes on.
Yep.
All right.
And then I just hook up the lower and the upper
Yep.
radiator hose.
Yep.
All right. Let's set it down. All right, they're all bolted. Woo! Bang! You just drops right out. I said bang, it all drops out.
Alright, now we gotta button everything else up. We're about halfway there now.
Well, I'm more than halfway now, but gotta put that ground cable on, those two hoses on the bottom.
Right, start putting the hoses.
Alright, let me do that. Alright. It's down on the ground.
Alright, so the battery goes back in, computer goes back in, all the wiring goes back in, the air filter, hoses.
Everything's back together.
All that stuff in here goes back together, obviously.
Put all the antifreeze, you know, all the hoses back on, so we're going to fill it up with fluids.
So, the transmission does not have a dipstick. All it has is a plug.
Which is dumb.
So, underneath, so we drained it all, drained the converter, drained all the fluid. Underneath, we'll show you when we go back up, but there's a little plug. You drain it, and then there's another little plug, like facing, the plug is here to drain it, and then there's another little plug that faces kind of down, almost about the same height. You gotta take that out, and you fill it till it comes out of there.
Now fill it up. Ours, you know, it's gonna take more than what normally, well, because we took the converter out, so it's gonna take a little more, but still just gotta fill it. Then once it's running, you fill it till it comes out, and that's it. And then fill it up with oil, antifreeze, and then
hopefully that's it.
Yep. Then we're just waiting on a couple other little things. All right, so the motor is in the car, started right up, purrs like a kitten. So two things, real quick. So we found once we started the car, it was running fine, and then it started like surging, and when you put your hand actually over the cover, because we had it off before for the airflow, it would actually kind of stop. So we're like, all right, it's a vacuum leak somewhere. And then we looked, the intake hose back here had a big hole in it, so we changed that. And then another thing is, when you're done with it, and if you disconnect the battery or anything, and you were changing and we were cleaning out the throttle body, you got to reset the throttle body. So if you go online, you can look it up. There's a procedure, but you turn the car to the on position, wait 3 seconds, then hit the pedal 5 times within 5 seconds, real quick, all the way to the floor. Then you wait 7 seconds with your foot off the gas, and then hold it down for 20 seconds, and then the light will start blinking, the check engine light. And so you hold your foot down while it's blinking until the light turns solid. Then you take your foot off within 3 seconds of it turning solid, and then it should be good. But you do have to make sure that the light is cleared. So if it has a check engine light on or anything, like this one was saying mass airflow sensor, but that was because the intake 2 had a hole in it. You clear that light first, and then you reset it, and you should be fine. Alright, so that should be it for this video, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out our other videos, and hope this helped somebody.